Perfect. So again, good morning. Thank you all for joining us again. I think we'll stick to our usual agenda. So Joe Awald, would you mind kicking us off and giving us an update on what is happening in Water Department construction?
Sure. Good morning, everybody. My name is Joe Awald, Commissioner of Water for the City of Syracuse, and we are working on the Montgomery Street, Jefferson Street water main upgrade replacement project, which is part of the bigger paving project overall. So I'm going to share my screen to give you an update. Oh, I can't share. Now I can share. There we go. All right. So, like before, I'm going to run through the PowerPoint a little bit. Some of the slides I'll jump through because they're pretty old hat at this point. So if there's any questions or anything, please feel free to stop me. We can run through if you have any questions. Work overview, we're Montgomery Street first, then we'll be on Jefferson Street. Two different types of installation methods. One is actually just lining the pipe versus an open trench typical excavation. Jefferson Street is going to be the more typical replacement where the lining is just an upgrade to the pipe. These are some of the shots from when we were doing it in front of the Civic Center with the pipe lining. You can see it's a little less invasive versus the open trench excavation, which is a more traditional method of replacement and repair. So phase one was done on April 15th, installation of 2 new valves on Madison Street. 1B, we've completed pipe lining in front of the courthouse and the Civic Center, along with 2 new valve installations in front of the Civic Center and then 1 over by the courthouse. So we'll be reestablishing water in front of the courthouse. The Civic Center already has water in front of it, so that's all done. We'll be looking at probably trenching on Madison Street towards the end of this month. Again, it's a moving target depending on what we have going on. We have lined underneath the sidewalk in front of the cathedral. That is completed, and we're putting that pipe back together. We need to cut in some T's at the intersection of East Jefferson and Montgomery to reestablish the connection south of the old Carnegie Library. All that pipe lining is complete. We'll be looking probably to install some valves on Jefferson Street or South Warren Street to do some isolations coming up in June. We're thinking this week, but it probably will be towards the end of this week or the beginning of next week. The valves on East Onondaga Street have all been installed. I'm trying to keep this color coded, so anything green has been done, like valves are changing from yellow to green or orange to green, so we can see what's completed, what isn't. The open trench excavation has not been completed on here yet. That's coming at a later date. I got to update that date for that one. But we have completed the pit excavations and the pipe lining in front of the old library. We will probably begin lining the, let's call it the northern portion of the 300 block of Montgomery next week. It's our anticipated. So we'll be starting that process. The 200 and 100 blocks will be upcoming here shortly. We'll be working on a 200 block this week. So they should be cleaning the pipe today, and they'll be lining it tomorrow. And then they'll probably be doing the next section along City Hall, cleaning it on Thursday and lining it towards Friday. Again, we're moving right along with the pipe lining. It's going really well. The last section will be by the Canal Museum, which there'll be a traditional open trench excavation with installation of valves. That'll probably be next week towards the beginning of June. And then from there, we'll begin switching everything over to Jefferson Street, where we'll be doing the open trench excavation in the beginning of June timeframe. So like first week of June, we'll do the 200 block. The next week, we'll probably be moving towards the 100 block and finishing up on Clinton Street towards the end of June. We also have the 1 block of Montgomery between Harrison and Adams, which we'll be doing probably mid-June. And then our work will be all wrapped up and done. Any questions? All right, that's it for me.
I didn't want to say anything to jinx the project, Joe, but it's amazing. Like when we started talking about all the construction work, just how it has progressed through the season so far. And it's strange to hear you say it's going to be over by June. But again, I don't want to jinx anything. So thank you.
Right. But it's going very well, which is good. I've been trying to get as much information out as possible so everyone's informed of what's going on and when. We're trying to do as much work that we can at night to provide, the least amount of impact to people. But, traffic, we've been keeping lanes open, keeping things flowing. So I think it's been working pretty well. Knock on wood that everything goes smoothly from here on out. But I think the hardest part coming up will be Jefferson Street, because we will be shutting the block down completely 1 block at a time. So no traffic in or out on those streets. With the lining, you can see it's less invasive, so we are able to help traffic maintain its flow. But open trench excavation, you just can't do that in this type of tight setting.
Thank you. John Kivelhan, are there any updates on the paving projects with the city?
Paving project right now, we've been concentrating on both Salina and State Street from Adams Street South. So anybody who's driven through there will have noticed, we're almost ready to top pave both sections. So luckily enough, we stayed out of downtown for now. The next major work we have to do reset some curb around Clinton Square on Salina Street. I don't have the exact schedule for that, but we are aware to stay out of that area when the farmers market's in progress. So right now we're waiting for a schedule from our contractor to know when he's going to go into the 400 and 300 blocks of Salina Street. Tentatively, he's talked about going in there in June. I don't have the exact date, but when I do, I'll share that with everybody. Which block we're going to start in first. We're not going to do both at once. We'll do one at a time. In advance of the construction, there's been some construction along Salina Street. That's associated with some utility construction, Verizon, 5G work. They're trying to complete their work in advance of the paving projects. And the other paving projects, which is for Clinton, Warren, Jefferson, Montgomery Street, that we're in the process of awarding that contract. Once we have the contract awarded, we'll be in a position or execute the contract. Once executed, we'll have a pre-construction meeting and get a tentative schedule. Once we have that schedule, we can share it with everybody, give you a heads up of which street's going to progress first. But, as Joel mentioned, they're going to be on Jefferson in June. Chances are we're going to be in Salina Street in June, and the other mill and pave project's going to be in progress on one of those other streets. So just so everybody's aware, probably starting in June, you're going to see a lot more construction downtown. As I said, you're going to have three major contracts in progress. And also there's some other planned utility work along Salina Street. So it's going to start getting busy, just so everybody's aware. That's all from engineering.
John, question, just because you mentioned the number of projects that'll be happening in June. And maybe we can talk offline about it, but again, I think just we'd appreciate a better understanding of the traffic pattern planning that'll be in place while those different construction projects are happening, particularly in regards to like vehicular signage.
Yep.
And just opportunities to help support the businesses, but help again guide people, through downtown.
Yeah, we're cognizant of that, and we know once all this construction does start, and we have all the contractors together, we're gonna have to make sure that any detours that are put up are logical. We're not sending people from one work zone into another work zone and back again. So we know it's got to get coordinated. So yes, we'll share that, and we'll have communicate as required.
Any questions from folks on here or things that they wanted to mention, for the city departments to keep in mind during the construction period? Okay, and I do have a quick update. So Chris Gorman was from National Grid was unable to join us this morning, but he had shared the following update for the group, and specifically National Grid, they've got some utility work that they need to complete on East Jefferson Street. So their plan is to follow the water department's work on East Jefferson as soon as that pipe is installed. National Grid anticipates it'll take approximately 1 week to install the new gas main, and then a week or two to connect the building services. And that project will go through the July 4th weekend. And then on Montgomery Street, they're going to start that work after they complete East Jefferson Street. Their plan is to start at the south end at East Jefferson Street and work their way north up Montgomery. And they believe they'll be starting that the very last week of July. And he had mentioned that he'll be working individually with the building owners on any connections or coordination work that needed to happen.
Does that conflict with the Arts and Craft Festival?
They, the reason they're going to start the work on Montgomery Street the last week of July is to start it right after the Arts and Crafts Festival concludes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, thanks.
Great. Any other questions or items that people would like to bring up? Okay. So thank you all again. We mentioned we recorded this meeting, so we will have this posted on the City of Syracuse website. And just a reminder, in case you do need access to any of the meeting notes or the video links, or even the link for this Zoom meeting, if you go to syrgov.net/infrastructure, all of the information and resources are found right on that page. So thank you all. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.